What is going on, everyone? Isaac Mashman here. You are now listening to episode 26 of Chase the Vision podcast with Isaac Mashman, the podcast that's goal is to help you better chase after your own vision, your own dreams, and to help you begin living without limitations. Now, I have a value-filled episode today, and this is episode 26 of the podcast, yes, but this is also Friday Fire number 2. Now, Friday Fire is basically a Friday episode of the podcast. Obviously, the value makes sense and stands the test of time no matter what day of the week you listen to, but Friday Fire is a shorter episode, a shorter length, and its goal isn't to motivate you. It's not to motivate you, but it is to light a fire underneath your butt and kind of get you going and get you thriving for the weekend. You know, I feel like a lot of people view the weekend as a time for them to slow down, but the fact of the matter is, when you're going after your dream, when you're going after what you want and you're really on fire, you're not going to stop for anything. You're just going to go at it. And that means that some days you're going to work on the weekends. You might work a Saturday, you might work a Sunday, and that's just the fact of life. There are other people who will work on Saturdays, and those people, chances are, will probably get farther ahead of you if you choose not to. And that's something you got to accept. But before I talk about that, I want to go ahead and ask you guys to do a major favor for me. Some episodes call it the fee, some episodes call it a price, and other podcasts and other shows will literally fill your ears with advertisements for 20, 30 minutes before they even get into the value. You see, I'm not the type of guy to do that. I'm not the type of guy to run a whole bunch of advertisements and endorse a company and sponsor a company that I do not believe in. That's just not me. And at the same exact time, I'm not going to go ahead and say, guys, go order this amazing product that you can buy from Alibaba, you know what I'm saying, and sacrifice my brand and sacrifice your time for a paycheck. That's not what I'm going to do. And I'm also not some huge name entrepreneur who has millions of dollars that I can run behind my podcast in advertisements and marketing. I'm not to that point yet. Keyword emphasis on yet. But the one thing that I can do is give you guys value, save you guys time, and help you guys pursue what it is you want in life, because I am actively doing the same exact thing. I have more knowledge in certain areas than some of you guys might have. You guys will probably have more knowledge in a lot of areas than I have. That's the amazing thing about life. We all have different knowledge, we have different experiences, we have, different facts, all these different things. And so for this podcast specifically, I am going to be discussing lifestyle, business, mindset. I'm also going to be incorporating some things regarding the music industry. I personally work in the music industry on helping artists succeed without ever signing to a record label. So I'm going to be incorporating a variety of different things, but just know that at the end of every single episode, you are going to be filled up. You are going to be, a better version of yourself ultimately at the end. You're going to know something that you didn't know. And if you actually take action on a lot of the things that I say, you're going to be getting results in your life. But that's only if you take action. So what I do ask and what I do inquire from you is that if you get an ounce of value at the end of each podcast you listen to, every episode, preferably, I would greatly appreciate it. You share it with another friend. You share it with a family member. You share it with your sister. You share it with your mother. You share it with your best friend, your business partner, whoever it might be. You could be on a random highway and talk to a stranger and be like, by the way, you listen to podcasts, go check out Isaac Mashman's Chase the Vision podcast. Sounds cheesy? I don't think so, because I think you should be willing to do whatever it takes. So today's episode, I'm going to jump right into, and it is going to be talking about compromise. Now, this is a subject that I could easily go on and talk about for hours on end. I could talk about this nonstop for hours. But for the purpose of this episode, for the sake of this episode, Friday Fire, I am going to keep it short and sweet, but just know that I will be going in depth about this subject in the future for a future episode. What does it mean to compromise? Compromise basically means when you have two people or two entities that have a disagreement or, don't see eye to eye, and they meet in the middle. They come to an agreement that makes sense for both of them. Sometimes in a compromise, one person might bend a little bit more than the other person. Other times, two people meet in the middle and be 50-50. But a lot of times in life, it seems like whenever we compromise, we're giving in and doing something that we really don't want to do. We're doing something for another person that we normally wouldn't do. And see, I'm a huge believer in being selfless. I believe that you receive more based off of what you give. The more you give, the more you receive. But I think that we make exceptions far too many times for family members, for friends, for, just other people, and that sounds a little selfish. I understand that. You're probably like, what? This sounds super ego driven, Isaac. Yeah, a little bit, and I'm going to say that. Yeah, it is a little bit egotistical. It is selfish. But I also am here to tell you that the price of success requires you to be selfish. Now, unless you're trying to, be Mother Teresa and help a whole bunch of people and only help and only be a charitable person, then yeah, okay, you might not have to be selfish. You can devote all of your life to being selfless. But if you're trying to make a name for yourself as a public figure, as an artist, as a musician, as a rapper, as a business owner, as I don't know, I could go off an entire list. If you want to be a veterinarian, you have to be selfish by going to school. You have to be selfish by investing into yourself. The time that you could spend going and helping another person, you have to spend on yourself. We come into the world alone and we die alone. That is a fact of life. Sounds like a cliche. I've realized that a lot of cliches are actually true. But as I've reflected over the past couple of weeks, I've recognized that far too many people compromise in their life and give in. It could be giving into a relationship with someone who's abusive. Let's say this person has abused you for a good while now, and you try to have your side of the story told. And then you talk to a person and you tell them what happened, and they say, well, you can't focus on what was, but rather focus on the potential and what can be. Focus on the possibilities. Normally, I'm all for that. I'm all for, focus on the possibilities, don't focus on the past. But it's like we give green cards, like we give a go card, like this is good, full speed ahead, like it's a green light, just because someone's a family member, just because someone is a close friend that we've known for years. I know that amidst everything that's going on in the country right now, I'm not one to talk about this too in depth, but regarding race jokes, regarding things that are highly political. You've ever been at a family table and you hear, one of your family members crack a joke that is insensitive? Or maybe you're hanging out with a friend of yours, maybe a high school buddy. Maybe you're in high school. Maybe you're in middle school right now listening to this show. If you are, congratulations, because you're way ahead of most people. But if you're listening and letting other people around you crack these jokes, you're giving in, you're compromising with yourself and with what you should do. When someone is insensitive around you, makes a joke, one, that shows a lot about that person's character and is a clear sign that you should not be hanging around that person. But the second thing is you're compromising your leadership. You're compromising your brand, your energy by giving into them, by giving into their opinion. Every single time you listen to another person's opinion, you are compromising by listening. Now, there is good compromise, there is bad compromise. And so far up until this point, I've only been talking about the compromise that we give to other people. I have not even mentioned the compromises that we make with ourselves. We try to justify our actions. We try to justify why we're eating that donut, why we're going out to the bar, why we're taking a shot, why we're taking a puff of that joint, why we're doing this, why we're talking the way that we are. We try to justify why we're out of shape. We try to justify our partying by saying, oh, we work hard, we deserve it. Well, based off of where you're going and your goals that you say that you want to pursue, did you really earn taking an entire weekend off? If you're trying to lose weight and you're compromising with yourself on a daily basis by eating a Little Debbie, saying that I walked today, I worked out today, I deserve this Little Debbie snack. It's like you're taking 2 steps forward and 2 steps back every single day and you wonder why you're not progressing. You're compromising with yourself. This is one of the hardest things that you can ever come to terms with, because it's coming to terms with yourself. I don't think that the most difficult things in life are coming to terms with anybody else or with prior abuse, with issues, with any of that stuff. I do not think that is where the difficult compromise or the difficult, conversations are. I think the difficult conversations are with yourself, because you're compromising with yourself. You're trying to justify your lack of success by saying, oh, I was preparing for it. I was investing into myself. Well, no shit. Of course you're, preparing. Every single day that you wake up, you are preparing for tomorrow. Doesn't mean you're preparing in a good way. But you should also recognize that every action that you take has an equal consequence. Or not even equal, you can do one action and it can have an explosive, exponential consequence for both good or for bad. I am personally sick and tired of compromising with myself, and this is something that I have actively been very aware of over the past month and moving forward. And I try to reason and justify why I have not achieved certain results, why some of my goals I might have fell short on. Yes, we will never achieve every single thing that we pursue after. There are going to be times where we fall short, where we fall. But are we making excuses for our success? Are we compromising our success with excuses? That is a very difficult thing that I encourage you to think about moving forward this week. Guys, this is the time in life where we do not stop. We do not slow down. We do not let every single thing in the world going on right now kill our success, kill our momentum, kill our hopes. 2020 still has 7 months left. We are just now at the beginning of June. That means that we have over 180 days, more than half a year to make 2020 great. Yes, we've been off to a horrible start, a bumpy start. But I also see a lot of people who are achieving massive success because they choose to achieve massive success and not let everything hold them down and hold them back. I'm not saying be careless, be insensitive. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is be aware, but do not be weighed down. Do not be held back. Be aware of social injustices. Speak up. Speak up for what you believe in. But do not make that your entire life to where you fail to pursue what you really want to pursue. Are you chasing another person's life or are you chasing your own? I recognized for a lot of my time, I was always living for other people. But at the same exact time, I talked about this a couple episodes ago when I talked about the 3 habits of high achievers. How can you help other people when you cannot help yourself? But you cannot help yourself if you're constantly compromising with yourself or compromising for other people. Sometimes you will have to take a step back in life to get yourself right so you can help other people get right. Sometimes that selfish decisions result in the most selfless results. That's what comes about. Protect your energy, guys, and stop making compromises every single day. Stop giving in. Stop giving in to yourself. Don't make a compromise with a friend over peer pressure. Peer pressure can destroy a person, especially if it's the wrong kind. Have an awareness. Have a very, very sharp and keen awareness of how every action and every person and every conversation influences you, influences the way you feel, affects the way that you think. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. Guys, that's all I have for you today. I could obviously keep going. This is probably over the 7 or 8 minute mark. I'm not apologizing for that because regardless, value is value, content is content, love is love, passion is passion. Go out, crush today, crush this weekend, crush this week, this month, this year, and your entire life. Always live without limitations. And to close out, make sure you are following me at Isaac Mashman across all social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And then go to isaacmashman.com. I'm going to be updating my site very, very soon. And now for a little bit of a shameless plug, a little bit of a brand conversation. If you're an artist or a musician and you're looking to really take over and succeed and you don't want to get signed to a record label and you're just not getting the results in life that you really want, not getting the results with your music that you really want, go ahead, send me a message. Let's hop on a call, see if we're fit to work together, and let's go ahead and make 2020 our best year yet. Much love.